Max Clifford was interviewed about 2 days ago by me, and I was actually having an interview with him, and I thought I'm not going to try anything funny here because I like this guy. He messes around with the media. The whole thing's a game for him. And so I just got idly spinning through the time, and I got to about, sort of 15 minutes into the interview, and I idly popped him the question, how would you do a PR job for Christ? How would you do a PR job on Christ?
Well, what you've got to do is to show this man and establish the vital importance of his message.
But how could you do that?
Well, of course, you can do that. You can do that by showing things. That shouldn't be too difficult at all, particularly if he's able to produce, the kind of miracles that he was meant to have produced all those, years ago.
So you'd have him do a few of those?
Well, of course.
But now, how would you differentiate that from all the people who are trying to make themselves look wonderful people anyway, and have various good tricks up their sleeve too?
Well,
Penn and Teller.
If what you've got is good enough and is strong enough, and with Jesus Christ, it would be.
Would it?
Of course it would, because that's what the world wants and that's what the world needs.
How could you do that, though? I mean, using the media, wouldn't people just say, David Icke?
I've just explained to you that, for example, if this man were to be seen somewhere performing the kind of, amazing miracles that he is capable of.
Well, I mean, the thing is, what could he do? I mean, in order to convince a large number of people, he'd have to be like in the audience at Wembley Stadium when the Stones are playing. Keith Richards would die halfway through and Jesus would come up on stage, touch him with his finger, and he'd be able to carry on until the end.
Well, no, because then people would think because it's rock and roll, he was in a drug-induced state, so he wasn't really dead anyway. You'd have to be a lot cleverer than that. You'd have to do something which involved the Pope. You'd have to do something involving the Queen.
What could you do with the Pope and the Queen?
Okay, well, let's just, for example, so you've got a feast involving these people.
So you call that feast?
You call that feast. You've got 100 of them sitting around that table. And this man appears and stands on the table.
But they'd say he's mad. They'd say, look, there's a mad bloke standing on the table.
No, they wouldn't, because you see, he produces the evidence. There's the feast, right? From nothing to the feast. In one go, everyone has seen, and these people...
What, so empty plates and then ting and suddenly they're full?
Exactly.
Everyone on television would think it was a camera trick.
Not if these people are there.
What, the Queen and the Pope?
Yeah.
So the Queen and the Pope would have to sit there and say, I'm telling you guys, that really happened.
Well, of course, that's what I've just said. If all of the various people in that area had said exactly the same thing...
Mother Teresa?
Exactly.
Don't you think people would be going, well, that's a great stunt. They just think it was David Copperfield, but, to the power of 10.
No. There's always going to be cynics, of course. But immediately you would have a huge response, and then that's just the start. That's just a kick-off.
And Paul Garner, now less than 15 minutes away, going to be prodded into that hotel outside which he is parked at the moment. And just a couple of things to watch out for over Christmas. TV highlights, they're going to show Pick of the Year from parliamentary broadcasts. The thing that was actually best to watch was this week. Was actually yesterday when Parliament broke up just before Christmas. You sit there, you watch the end of the parliamentary session, all the MPs getting up, and after all the kind of to and fro of the debates, they all kind of merge onto the middle of the chamber floor and swap shirts, which is always rather a moving event. And don't forget that over Christmas, if you're in one of Britain's major cities including Glasgow, Liverpool and London, will all be boiled. This is part of a big clean-up operation, so everyone out, please, by Sunday morning.
So what about computer games and that kind of thing?
Oh, they're terrible things, these, aren't they? Goodness gracious me, we've got some in our household and the kids like them, but I think there's an awful danger that you're going to have a lot of kids growing up who seem to spend all their life stuck in a household.
Absorbing some of the weird culture that tends to be spewing out of it. Chronic the drug wasp, for example.
Oh, good, yes, but I think you'll find that that's something which most people don't come in contact with.
But it does seem to be something that's growing, and that's the problem. And obviously, if you look at America that you mentioned, you see a role model there, you see urban violence, you see all kinds of things. You have the Lee Harvey Oswald computer game, All the President's Brains. Andy Spazchrist, a character which is perhaps one of the most morally reprehensible characters ever invented by man.
Well, you're quite right. I mean, one of the problems we've got now with the removal of borders, we used to be able to control these things more actively, but now, of course, you've got places like Holland where everything seems to go, and I'd like to have the power to stop nasty things like that.
Holland, indeed, have produced an extremely feckless computer game, which doesn't even have any point. Derek the Dullard, who just walks into things.
Holland worries me, quite honestly, because all the standards we used to think were important for Britain seem to be going there. I would like to stop these horrible things.
Do you think we suffer from a sort of leakage of fecklessness from Holland in that direction with Derek the Dullard and others?
Oh, there's no doubt at all. I'm afraid you can't stop things like this coming in.
Do you seriously think that we may have imported from Germany such degradation as Dr. Piss and the homeless headbangers slaughter innocent shoppers, or will that stay in Berlin?
Well, it's going to be more difficult to stop it coming from Berlin because of the removal of border controls. And the only way
it's like a sort of rabies. It's like a kind of...
You're quite right. I mean, it's the only way we can do this is by having national controls, because I think the average family doesn't want this kind of thing.
But how can we do that when the replication is so simple, the communication is so fast, and the homeless headbangers can be wandering around with their wicked weapons, inflicting all kinds of damage in urban areas?
We'll have to have some kind of international control, for example, of television. I think there will be a great revival of straightness. But it won't be the EC, it'll have to be done internationally.
If some reckless youngster who is a fan of Derek the Dullard was in your presence right now, how would you convert them from that into an increased person of straightness?
I'd say, come and join my local football club.
Paul!
Hey, Chris!
Good loo!
How are you, mate?
Was it good loo in there?
I feel a lot better for it.
So now you've come back outside it.
I'm outside the Waldorf now.
And you're about to go back into it?
With pleasure.
Just cross the road and go into the hotel.
I'm going in now.
Okay,
I'm right outside the door.
As you go in, be going, yeah, in a really loud voice. And
Right,
just keep saying
the
yeah.
revolving doors right now.
Okay.
Really posh bit now.
And a big yeah, right? Big yeah!
Yeah!
And now start hopping round the reception in a circle. Hopping.
I'm hopping, yeah.
Big circle.
Yeah. Got it, yeah. Yeah.
Keep going. And if you see a cushion there, pick it up. Are there any cushions?
Yeah, there is one.
Pick it up and carry on hopping round.
Do you want me to hop over to it?
Yep.
This is very embarrassing.
Hop over to the cushion, pick it up,
I've got it.
put it under your arm and carry on hopping round the room.
Okay, I'm doing it, mate.
Any attention yet?
There's a couple of very rich-looking Americans staring at me.
Hop round, smile as you pass. Wave, and then kneel in front of them. On the cushion.
Okay, the cushion.
Put it down. Kneel in front of them, yeah?
I'm doing it.
Okay, and start going juba, 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 juba.
Juba, 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 juba.
Are they your friends yet?
Oh, no, security guard.
Right, is there anyone else there who's in charge who isn't at the desk?
There's a man... Oh, no.
What?
There's a man sitting on a chaise lounge.
You can see a guy sitting down.
Do you want me to get up then?
Yeah, shuffle across on your knees. Going juba, 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 juba.
Chuba, 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 chuba. Chuba. Chuba, 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 chuba.
And then leap up and go, hi there!
Hello there.
Go and sit next to him. When you sit down next to him,
Yeah.
say very friendly like, excuse me, sir, but you're the wrong shape. You'll have to leave.
I don't think I can do that.
I think you can. Just sit down next to him. Excuse me, sir, I think you're the wrong shape. I think you have to leave.
Excuse me, sir. I think you're the wrong shape for this place.
I think you have to leave.
Apparently you have to leave.
Now.
Sorry?
You're the wrong shape, man.
Apparently it's the wrong shape, man.
You are.
You are.
Am I?
Could you please leave now?
Is there any chance you could leave?
I'm waiting for somebody who's in there.
Sorry?
I'm waiting for somebody who's in there.
Can you wait outside?
Is there any chance you could wait outside for him?
Because your shape is offensive.
I think I'd eat less mushrooms if I were you.
He said he'd eat less mushrooms if I was him.
Tell him his face is too wide and his eyes smell. Your face is too wide.
Your face is too wide.
And your eyes smell.
And your eyes smell. No?
And in future, please, tuck your arse in.
In future, please, is there any chance you could tuck your arse in?
What's he doing? Is he blanking you?
Yes.
Is he looking aggressive?
Yeah.
If you can just, stride around the reception, do a big circuit of the reception, singing Shape, Glorious Shape. You, sir, have a bad one. And keep singing that and then walk out.
Shape, glorious shape. You, sir, have a bad one.
Please tuck in your ass. Looking at you is no fun.
Please tuck in your ass. Looking at you, sir, is no fun.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. me out.
Okay, go.
Let me out.
Yeah, you can go.
Let's go.
Go now.
Let's go.
Okay.
Oh my God, he nearly threatened me. I know he did.
Really? What do you mean you know he nearly threatened you? What kind of...
He had coins in his hand,
Coins?
ready to make the impact even more violent.
Like a knuckle duster.
Yeah.
You fancy going back?
No way. That's me done, mate. That's it.
Okay. Get in the car and drive calmly away.
We can't even do that. The car's broken down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who did that?
It's broken down. We're going to have to get a taxi.
Girl in the red dress, she's just trying to impress us. And she's got my valley fever, but she doesn't make a sound. She's just hanging around. She's just hanging around. Down the corporate alley with a hustle, speed and bullet. There's a million of them selling, and the buyers can be found. They're just hanging around. They're just hanging around.
It'd be great if it actually needed a getaway car, wouldn't it? Okay, well, that's it. Watch out for the Boxing Day show, 1 till 3 on Boxing Day. That's lunchtime until 3 p.m. And amongst other things, Paul's adventure in a taxi.
Hi, this is Petula Clark, and I love to go down on Young Girls here on Radio 1.
Thanks to Paul, thanks to Peter, thanks to Rebecca and Ollie tonight on our special night of 3 sods and 200 stars.
Petula, Peter Hamill from Radio 1, congratulations on this evening.
Thank you.
Any comment on the death of Meatloaf today?
I didn't know.
He exploded this afternoon on stage.
I'm sorry, you've just broken the news to me. I didn't know.
Exploded.
Meatloaf?
We got it about half an hour ago.
I adored him. And he was one of the... He's a lovely, lovely man. And I was hoping that we were going to do something.
Hello, this is Bruno Brooks.